All right, well, I'm here in my driveway. This is another mods episode, stuff that I have changed in the Oliver. I've kind of gotten on a roll. I just passed my 2-year anniversary with the Oliver, and I guess at this point I've kind of started to lose my fear of doing any mods, because I wanted to give it enough time that I kind of knew what I wanted to change and knew some things that I wanted to add to improve on it. So that's what this episode is about. Pardon the mess. I have been in here trimming. Just a second. I've been trimming this stuff, and this is vinyl gutter, and I got, I think, enough to do what I need to do to cover all the windows. I've already put one on. Let me show you what that looks like. It's my little handheld weather station. Looks like it's 66% humidity. Heat index is, oops, there it is, 104.4. And the temperature is 90.3. So, it's a little bit nicer day. It's a little bit cooler than it has been here in Birmingham, Alabama. So I am taking the advantage of the cooler temps, and I know 90 degrees feels sweltering to most people, but yeah, that's what we deal with here in the South. So here's that gutter that I added. It can go all the way down. As long as I get the water to here, it's fine. And it just, it sticks to the top, and I've kind of got it lined up with the other side, and it's not difficult to put on. I did use some alcohol here to clean the surface, so I got good adhesion. And I did use I actually used a handle of a pair of scissors and just pushed really firmly to kind of make sure that adhesive made a good contact. So another modification I have made is I have replaced the window in the Oliver. I took out the stock window out of this is a Lippert door, that Oliver puts in their trailers. And this is exactly the same window as the original, except it's black trim instead of white trim. They don't make this kit in a white trim model. Maybe Lippert will add that on at some point. But I don't think it looks too bad. The black trim isn't really noticeable unless I call it out. Hey, that's black. The others are white. But it's really cool because you can see through it. So I'll show you the inside. Now, it has a blind, and what I installed the blind, whoops, how about that? So it has this blind, and I installed the blind upside down so I could pull it down a little bit, and I could peek out when I'm parked. So yeah, this is with the blind all the way down, and you can have it's tinted, so the sun's not going to pour in there. But at night, if you are at a campground, let's say that maybe there's some light poles nearby or something, that some sort of security light is shining in. If you know how bright it can be shining through that stock window. But with this guy, you just let the shade up, blocks the whole thing out, and even in the daytime, I tell you, it gets pretty dark inside the Oliver. One thing that might be a surprise, but it shouldn't be, you can't adjust this blind from inside, and you have to actually come out of the camper to adjust the blind, because the screen door covers it. So regardless, you can't get to the blind, and the only way to open the screen door, the only way to do it, is to stand outside, open the screen, close the screen door, and then you can get to this blind. So that's one little downside. I don't see myself really moving this thing up and down a lot. I see it probably going to be more of a peephole kind of opening, and then I'll just leave it like that. The Lippert window doesn't have trim pieces and then a frame on the inside, like you might expect. You would expect a window to have a frame that holds the glass, and then maybe trim pieces to hide the frame and make it look nice. Not for the Lippert door. The trim is actually the frame. So there are only 3 pieces that are in that window kit. There's the outer frame, the inner frame, the glass, I guess 4 pieces, and the shade. It's not hard to do, but you can't, without being really creative, you can't take off your existing window, replace the glass, and put that frame back on, because there is a special tool that you have to have that releases the inner frame from the outer frame. There are, I believe it's 18 or 16 latches all the way around the window that hold them together, and you have to release all 16 at the same time to pull the window out. So they give you in the replacement window kit that I bought, and I will put the link to that down in the description. The window kit from Lippert includes 16 of these little tools. So you stick them down into the slots around the outside of the window, around the edge, on the interior frame. You stick all those tools in those slots, and once they're all in position, then it will release and you can pull the inner frame out. I thought about reusing my old frame, the white frame, and just replacing the glass part and use the shade that was in the new kit. But the problem is that there's a gasket. There are 2 gaskets actually. There's on the outer frame, there's a gasket against the door itself, and then there's another gasket against the glass. And removing the old window destroyed those gaskets. Now, I could have probably gone and found some gasket material and made a gasket, but at the time I thought, well, you know, I feel like I've screwed up this this gasket. I'll just use the new frame. So that's why I went ahead and went with the black. And I don't think it looks that out of place or anything. It's not like it's purple or something like that. It's not like I get a lot of people that knock on my door, but it's kind of nice to be able to peek outside and see who's spy on your campground neighbors or spot wildlife or whatever it is that you're into. So yeah, that was a pretty good improvement to the Oliver, and I'm really pleased with that. Oh, and there's one other thing I want to show, and that is this. One of the problems that I had, you know, the only metallic thing that's magnetic in here is this bracket that holds the microwave. And it's not a good place to stick metal thing or magnetic things because it falls off all the time. And that was where I was sticking the remote control for the awning. So I ordered off of Amazon this. It's a stainless steel panel. It has adhesive on the backside, so it's stuck to the pantry door. And then it's magnetic, so I can use fridge magnets or whatever. I've collected some magnetic stuff from different places I've gone. There's my Buc-ee's tag, but point being, yeah, it gives you a nice big magnetic area. You know, when you come into a new campground and they give you a map, yeah, that's a great place to just magnet it right up, so you know you can refer to it. Another thing is this awning remote control. If you have this Girard remote control, there's a mounting plate, and then there's the actual remote control themselves, and they're all held together with magnets. The plate has strong magnets that hold it, and then there are sort of weaker magnets that hold the remote into the plate. But before, on the microwave, only these bottom 2 magnets were stuck down, and it just was falling off, and I just had trouble. But I tell you, if you put it on a plate like this, so that this is has all 4 magnets stuck down. Yeah, this is really a lot nicer. It never falls out. It's easy to grab. It's a big improvement to put that up here. Now, you know, the sharp-eyed will notice this is not the same color. This is a cool kind of white, and this is a warm white in the Oliver. But, you know, you can't be too picky when you're shopping on Amazon looking for magnetic adhesive panels to stick on your, and it's, you know, it's the only thing they have is white. And they have, I think they have a black one, they have a stainless steel one, but I just wanted something that didn't stand out. And even though it's a different color white, I don't think it stands out too bad. So I've got a little stool to stand on, and I've got my vinyl cut to the correct length. Oliver actually did a pretty good job centering the light above the window. So I don't really need to measure. I can just center it off of the exterior light. Alcohol and clean. Hey, it's white under there. Clean not only the dirt, but any kind of residue or anything that might prevent the vinyl adhesive from sticking. So just get that cleaned off as much as possible around the door, around the window, I mean. And then what I've been doing, what I did on the other one, was I line up the cut ends and I find the center right there. And then I have been centering that on the light switch. Yeah, it helps to have a knife to peel away this backing, because it is kind of stuck pretty well. But once I'm got that cut and the adhesive exposed, let me put away my blade. So the center, I got that right on the center. So that's what I'm going to be sticking to, right in the center of the window. Kind of put that down and press that on. And then I just start working my way around, trying to get everything lined up. And as I work my way around, just peel off this. Now the corners are a little tough, and one of the things that you might want to do is just leave this vinyl out in the sun for a few minutes, and it will soften it up. And that way it's not quite as much of a hassle to deal with. All right, now I'm just gonna kind of go back and press that down as much as I can. I'll do the other side. It's pretty easy to do, really. You just have to make sure you're not sticking it down where it doesn't belong. Meaning that, I mean, you can pull it away, especially right after you apply it. But I wouldn't want to try to peel it off days later and then reposition it because it will inevitably not stick back as well. So yeah, so you can see it's not too hard. Just trying to get everything kind of in place before you put a whole lot of pressure on. So as you can see, now I've done this side, and so yeah, the ends, they don't quite line up. I actually trimmed one on the other side a little bit. It's not rocket science. You don't have to do, you know, fancy exactly the same. Nobody's going to be measuring it, but hopefully you can see how it adheres. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go get my scissors, which have have a rounded plastic handle, and I've just been running the handle around it, just pressing down really good to make sure I've got good contact. All right, I have the air conditioner running in the Oliver. What does it say now? 93 degrees, and relative humidity 61.2. I don't know if that's visible. And the heat index 109.5, 109.6. Yeah, it's not a good time. 110. It's not a good time to be out. You know, I've got the awning up on the Oliver out in the driveway just to keep some of the sun from hitting the side and warming it up. I got to come back and put gutter around the back window, and then got both of these rear side windows, and I'm going to put one around the dinette window and also the bathroom window. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. I just wanted to share some of the mods I've been doing parked in my driveway. I'll be hitting the road again pretty soon, so thanks for watching and stay tuned.